Welcome back. As I promised, this is the video where I reveal the secrets of how I did the levitation tricks in the previous video. So if you haven't watched the previous video, you should stop right now. Go back and watch it and then come back. Go ahead, stop, don't watch. Are they gone? Those freeloaders. Okay, let's get started.
Computer programming was used for most of these tricks. I created the 3-minute background video using junk I had in the garage. I used FFmpeg to explode the background video into 6,049 still photos. Each photo is 1080p, which means it is 1920 pixels wide by 1080 pixels high. Every pixel is a colored dot which has an X and Y coordinate. To move an image, you just take each dot and move it from point A to point B. I wrote a simple program to copy all of the dots in the stick to the new location. This is how I draw the object.
Okay, the first question is, how do we get the stick to rotate? And so in order to get it to rotate, let's look at the clues that are in the video. Gear motor is rotating at 1.85 revolutions per minute. So it's a slow moving motor. And I placed on it this gearbox, but it will reduce the speed, the incoming shaft, by 400 to 1. So in other words, the output shaft of this gear motor
will be 1 revolution every 3.8 hours. The Joker has the next clue. These end pieces were on the original stick to provide a shaft. I sawed these off after I took the pictures. I took a picture every 5 seconds, creating over 3,000 still pictures of the same stick, each one at a different angle. The tricky part here was to figure out the edge of the stick at each angle of rotation. It ended up I just calculated the edge at every angle using vanishing point perspective and trig. The target edge is mapped onto the background files, and the stick is drawn at a different angle and location on every frame on top of the background images. Now for the question that was the most fun. How did I make this twisting motion? This goes back to a photographic trick I saw when I was in high school. An old-fashioned box camera was used with a square of film. A shutter was built using a very thin slot and placed on a crank. The slot moved vertically, exposing the film a tiny line at a time. Meanwhile, the object that was being photographed was being rotated, so the film was exposed in tiny strips, causing the object to look twisted on the photo. I didn't use a box camera. Instead, I used my 3,000 photos. Taking one small slice out of each 3,000 photos, each at a different angle. So this is a before and after series on how it was put together. At first, I used the real stick, so the before and after pictures are the same. Next, I used my telephone as a distraction and removed the stick. After the distraction, I inserted the pixel image of each stick, each on a separate frame, using different angles and locations to simulate levitation and rotation. So here is a recap of the correct answers. Did I use strings or magnets? No. How about an air jet? Sorry. Did I change pixel colors using coding? Yes, indeed. How about CGI imagery? No way. Filmed it all in zero gravity? Ha! Motor-driven rotation? Yes, indeed. Was it sorcery with witchcraft? Not at all. Did I explode the video into frames? Yes. Artistic drawing skills? No way. Slice rotating objects by pixels? Yes, indeed. Green screen masking? No. So these are the correct answers. The last trick, the flux capacitor, was made from a box and some bud vases. The programming language used in this video is Visual Basic 6, which is actually obsolete now, just like me. If you want to learn programming today, a better choice would be a language called processing. It is free on the internet, and you will also find plenty of great tutorials on YouTube. I hope you are inspired by this. I'd be glad to answer any comments and questions.
And the winner is a math teacher from Central Florida, Ken.
Happy coding!